All right. You are locked in to the Action Hero podcast.
Yes.
Get ready, because we've got a serious double dose of adrenaline coming at you today.
Yeah.
We're diving into two stories, and they really flip the script on what it means to be an action hero.
Absolutely.
So first up, picture this. A city on lockdown, like a total dystopian pressure cooker, right?
Right.
We're zeroing in on this young woman. She lives and breathes skateboarding, but this isn't your typical, kick flips and grinding reels story.
Yeah.
This takes a hard left turn when she discovers she's got like this insane knack for sharpshooting.
Oh, wow.
We're going to break down how the same rebellious energy that drives her on the skateboard turns her into, well, a key player in this whole underground resistance movement.
Interesting.
What kind of control is this regime even flexing, though? What is it that ignites this transformation from, skater to shooter?
Right.
And what's the first little clue that she even has this hidden talent? Then we're switching gears big time. We're heading into a world, and this world, it's soaked in magic.
Oh, cool.
But forget those, the typical wizards with their wands and dusty spell books.
Right, right.
Picture this. A young magician, not exactly, cookie cutter, kind of a chaotic kind of dude, stumbles across this enchanted gun. This thing channels pure magic.
Whoa, that's pretty wild.
Talk about changing the game, right?
Yeah.
We'll dig into how this less traditional mage, how he uses this crazy weapon to go up against this, shadowy cabal.
That's awesome.
What makes him such a misfit in, the magic world anyway? What are some examples of, his less polished magical moves?
Yeah.
And how does a gun, just a regular old gun, become like a pipeline for magic?
That's a good question.
All right, so let's kick things off with our first story. We're calling this one Grind and Gunfire. Our main character here is Skylar. Now, for her, skateboarding, it wasn't just getting around, or just a hobby. It was like this pure rebellion against these, stifling rules of the city. Picture this. You got these pristine, officially approved skate parks everywhere.
Okay.
Strict curfews, choking the night. These drab, identical gray uniforms everyone's got to wear, and the constant buzz of those surveillance drones overhead.
Oh, man.
It's like a system designed to crush any little spark of individuality,
Yeah.
But Skylar, she's different.
Okay.
She needs that feeling of raw, unsanctioned concrete under her board, that thrill of hitting lines on those off-limits rooftops.
Right.
The rush of outmaneuvering those patrol bots on her beat-up deck.
Cool.
You can almost feel that sense of being trapped,
Yeah, definitely.
It really emphasizes this oppressive environment. Her skateboarding, it's more than just something to do. It's this vital outlet. It's this physical no to being controlled.
Right.
It's like she's carving out her own space in a world that wants everyone to just be the same.
Yeah, I get that.
And it's in this defiance, this embracing of what's forbidden, that her real journey begins.
Interesting.
Exactly. So one night, looking for some kind of escape from the city's, watchful eyes, she ends up in these abandoned subway tunnels.
Oh, wow.
Total opposite of those sterile, approved skate parks.
Right.
That's where she runs into this character, Jed. He's described as world weary, seen some stuff,
Yeah.
Big thing. He's not part of the regime. Those faded tattoos on his arms, they hint at some resistance history a time before,
Yeah.
When Skylar cruises by his hideout, he stops her with this line. It's pretty intriguing. Kid, you got the wrong kind of guts.
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It just hits you with this idea of Skylar's defiance, but it also suggests that maybe, just maybe, there's a way to focus that energy. Her comeback, that it's almost a challenge. What, too much guts for a girl? Oh, yeah.
Shows you she's not about to be put in a box by anyone.
Right.
And Jed, he answers, but not with words.
Oh.
He just shoves a rifle into her hands.
Oh.
This isn't some, sleek, futuristic weapon. No, it's described as old, battle-scarred, and Skylar, she instantly feels the weight.
Yeah.
Way heavier, way more solid than her skateboard. Then comes the question, steady hands, quick feet, ever tried real target practice?
Interesting. It's a real shift, isn't it?
I know, right?
From the freedom and flow of skateboarding to the weight and power of a rifle.
Yeah.
It makes her think about a different kind of rebellion.
Yeah.
Not just about her own freedom, but something bigger.
Exactly. And Jed doesn't mess around. He sets up this makeshift target in this dim light from this flickering bulb.
Okay.
Skylar, she raises the rifle. Her focus goes right to the lines of those sights, the cold metal against her cheek, the first shot. The source material, it describes it as this, like, deafening roar.
The recoil slams into her shoulder, not exactly like landing a smooth ollie.
Right, yeah, totally different feeling, I bet. But what'd she do? How did she react?
It's wild. Instead of, freaking out or getting scared, she breaks into this almost feral grin.
Whoa, so she's into it.
Yeah, and that one little reaction, it says so much about her, That thrill seeker, that rule breaker, finding a whole new way to express that.
Yeah, I get that.
And Jed, this hardened guy, his approval is just a nod.
Oh.
Okay, but you can tell he sees something in her. Turns out the stuff that made her so good on a skateboard, those steady hands, the crazy fast reflexes from navigating the city, her ability to, ghost through the streets, that wasn't just for the board,
Yeah.
Those skills, they translated perfectly to handling a gun with crazy accuracy.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, she's a natural sharpshooter.
Makes you think.
It really does. Our sources suggest that these kinds of, unexpected skill transfers, they happen a lot when someone's got, that high level of physical awareness and can adapt like that.
Yeah, like those connections between seemingly different things.
It's like how mastering one physical thing, like the skateboard, it builds this base for a whole other kind of control. From that point on, Skylar is pulled into the heart of the resistance. Her life becomes this crazy mix of, secret training, practicing rooftop sniping under the cover of night, figuring out coded messages hidden in, chipped paint on old walls, whispering plans with Jed's network of rebels.
Cool.
This girl, she was just trying to carve out her own little bit of freedom. Now she finds a real purpose, a reason to fight that just clicks with her whole being,
Yeah, it's like she's not just rebelling for herself anymore.
Exactly.
It's like a collective thing now. Her skills are part of this bigger goal.
Right, and our sources talk about the psychological impact of these oppressive systems, how they make people feel. And for her, this gives her a sense of belonging, a sense of meaning that just wasn't there in the regime's world,
Right, yeah.
And then we get to this crucial moment, the Festival of Unity.
What's that?
It's the regime's big propaganda show, this totally fake display of, forced unity,
Yeah.
But for the resistance, it's their golden opportunity. And there she is, Skylar, perched on this crumbling gargoyle, the whole city spread out below.
That's an intense image.
I know, right? She's a symbol of rebellion, literally above the regime's center of power.
Right.
The whole festival square, it's like this sea of fake smiles and forced celebration, and she's their unseen protector.
Wow. You can feel the tension building, can't you?
Oh, yeah. And then the signal comes, a tiny flash of light from a window way off in the distance. That's the go. And Skylar, she doesn't even blink. First shot, perfect. Takes out the main spotlight shining on the regime leader's podium. Boom. Darkness. Second shot takes out the lens of a surveillance drone.
Blinding them.
Yep. Just like that, their carefully staged order crumbles into chaos.
That's the turning point, isn't it?
Sure.
Her actions create the opening the rebels needed.
Exactly.
It's not some big military attack. It's a wave of people rising up against the machine.
Absolutely. And it's all based on real uprisings, our source material. It's got these historical accounts of how those things go down.
Wow, that's amazing.
And Skylar's not done.
No.
No way. Her shots, they become strategic, covering the rebels as they pull back, giving them precious time to disrupt the festival and get out.
That's so cool.
But then, it happens. Those sirens start wailing. Those chilling orders for the regime forces, they crackle over the city's comms, converge on her location. Time for Skylar to get out of there.
Yeah.
And here's where it ties back to her roots. She doesn't go head-to-head, no.
Okay.
She uses her agility, her knowledge of the city's hidden paths.
Still smart.
She's sprinting across rooftops, that familiar feel of concrete under her boots.
Instead of her board.
Right. But it's still a terrain she knows, like the back of her hand.
That's amazing.
She gets to this pre-planned sniper's nest. It's part of Jed's plan, her last stand. She settles in, that rifle. It feels like it's just part of her now. Down below, those patrol bots, they start swarming their jerky movements, a total contrast to the smooth, almost invisible moves of her crew as they melt back into the shadows.
Wow.
Skylar lets loose controlled bursts, each shot taking out a bot, giving the others more cover.
Showing her skills and their planning.
Right. Even cornered, she's a serious threat, one person holding back the whole regime.
It's incredible.
Then things get real. Through her scope, she catches this glint of chrome.
What is it?
It's the regime's top enforcer, his own high-powered rifle locked on her position.
Oh, no.
This isn't about grunts and bots anymore. It's personal now. A final showdown. Skylar, she's the spirit of rebellion going head-to-head with the regime's cold, brutal order embodied by this elite enforcer.
That's like the ultimate clash.
It is. It's the skate punk versus the machine.
The tension must be insane.
Oh, it is.
It's everything leading up to this. Ideologies clashing.
Yeah, and that's where our first story leaves you hanging.
Oh, come on.
I know, right? Skylar's finger's on the trigger.
What happens next?
That's for you to imagine, but what a ride to get to this point.
It really is a story of resilience and unexpected heroism.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now let's jump into our second story. We're calling this one Spellfire. It's all about Marcus, a young mage who's, well, he's not your average spellcaster.
Oh, how so?
Oh, Marcus, he's a total disruptor in the magic world. The established magical community, they basically write him off. Our sources, they describe his potions as volatile, messy. His robes are all scorched from, his unpredictable magic experiments.
That's right.
And the Archmage. Let's just say he's not a fan. Always dropping that classic line, stick to theory, boy, real magic demands discipline. Yeah. But Marcus, he's all about raw power. The thrill of that magic surging through him. Discipline, not so much.
Interesting. He's like the opposite of how magic is usually done.
Exactly. He's driven by instinct, by experimentation. He wants to understand the real forces of magic, not just what's in some ancient book,
Yeah, I feel that.
So because of his, shall we say, unconventional methods, Marcus is basically pushed out of the magical mainstream.
So what does he do?
But for him, it's not a punishment. It's an opportunity.
Okay.
He heads out to these forgotten ruins outside the academy walls. He's muttering incantations over junk, always searching, experimenting, trying to understand. And it's in one of these abandoned armories surrounded by, the leftovers of a lost era that he finds it.
What does he find?
A gun. But not your average firearm. No, sir.
Okay.
The metal is covered in these intricate, faded arcane symbols. They hint at some serious magical juice.
Whoa, that's cool. It's like he makes this huge discovery.
It is. He realizes that magic, it's not just about saying the right words and making fancy gestures. He starts seeing it as pure energy, a force that can be channeled through, unexpected things.
That's a big shift in thinking.
It is. And his first attempts at putting magic into the gun, well, they were pretty energetic. Yeah, his first try with a fire spell almost took off an eyebrow.
Thanks.
But instead of giving up, each near miss, each singed hair, it helped him understand the connection between the gun and his own wild magic,
Yeah, so he's learning by doing.
He is. He starts messing around with runes, carving these symbols into the gun wind runes for speed, ice runes for precision.
Whoa.
The gun starts to hum with magical energy. It's like it becomes part of him, part of his wild talent.
It's like magical innovation out of necessity.
Exactly. And he's not just changing a tool, he's making something totally new, this blend of the regular world and magic.
And our historical magical texts, they barely even touch on this.
Right. They do mention it, but it's pretty vague.
Makes sense.
Meanwhile, while Marcus is unlocking the secrets of his Spellfire gun, the countryside, it's being ravaged by this cabal of rogue sorcerers.
Oh.
And these aren't just, petty thieves. No, they're corrupted by dark magic, wreaking havoc, terrorizing everyone.
Bad news.
And the Magical Academy, the traditional guys, they're struggling. They're slow, by-the-book magic, their wards and incantations. It's useless against this raw, aggressive, dark magic.
Yeah, it's like their old ways aren't enough.
It highlights how limited, just relying on theory and tradition can be. The Academy, they have all this knowledge, but they can't adapt. They don't have the raw power to counter this new threat.
That's a good point.
And that's where Marcus comes in. He arrives at this village. It's been trashed, and the air is thick with this awful stench of dark magic.
Oh, man.
He comes face to face with one of these sorcerers, and his eyes, they're described as burning with this, evil, twisted power.
That's scary.
It's a total contrast to how the Archmage would handle it, The Archmage would probably start this long, careful warding ritual.
Right.
Marcus, he just grins, his Spellfire gun gleaming, ready for action.
Two totally different approaches.
It is the deliberate, measured response of traditional magic versus Marcus's fast, improvisational style.
I wonder how that plays out.
Well, the duel, it's totally different from your typical wizard fight. Marcus's shots, they're not just bullets.
No.
They're like little magical storms.
Yeah.
Lightning crackles around the sorcerer's shields, ice shards trap him for a second, and then Marcus does this incredible thing. He weaves a binding spell into his next shot.
That's so creative.
It's crazy fast, chaotic, totally unpredictable.
I love it. He's not just shooting magic, he's shaping it, controlling it.
It's like he's rewriting the rules of magic right there.
And the historical texts barely mentioned anything like that.
Yeah, this is something else.
Did it work, though?
Oh yeah, that binding shot. It flies through the air, bursts into this light that wraps around the sorcerer, cuts off his dark magic.
Wow.
Suddenly, this scary, powerful dude, he's vulnerable, and Marcus, he doesn't hesitate.
What does he do?
Concussive blast, all his power, all his frustration behind it.
Boom.
Sends the sorcerer crashing down. He might not be graceful, he might not be by the book, but he gets the job done.
Effective.
Exactly, and the villagers, their reaction says it all.
What do they do?
At first, they're just shocked.
Makes sense.
But then, it's all cheers and relief. They're safe.
They're grateful.
Exactly, and Marcus, he was always the outsider.
Yeah.
He sees the difference between trying to fit in with the academy and the real impact he's having actually helping people.
Yeah, that's a powerful realization.
It is, that genuine appreciation from the villagers. It probably means more to him than anything the Archmage could say.
It's not about tradition. It's about results, about helping people.
Couldn't have said it better. So the dust settles. Marcus, he smiles this knowing smile and walks off.
Oh, really? Just like that?
Yeah. He knows this isn't over. There are more dark forces out there waiting. But he's not that misfit anymore. He's become something else, something powerful, this one-man magical force, ready to take them on.
He's a one-of-a-kind hero, showing that breaking the rules, trying new things, it can lead to amazing things.
And that's our second story. So you've just heard two incredible tales of, everyday people thrown into extraordinary situations. We've seen how a rebellious spirit like Skylar's can find its mark in the most unexpected ways, and how thinking outside the box, like Marcus, can change even the oldest traditions.
Right.
Skylar's journey, it's amazing to see how her defiance, that unwillingness to be boxed in, which started with her skateboarding, it becomes her most powerful weapon against oppression.
Yeah.
It makes you think, what skills do you have? What passions? That might be useful in ways you never expected.
It does.
And Marcus, he showed us that being an expert, it doesn't always look the way we think it should.
Right.
His willingness to toss out the rule book, to experiment with magic, that's how he created this whole new kind of magical combat.
I guess you wonder.
It does. Where in your own life could a less traditional approach, thinking outside the box, get you some amazing results?
These stories, they're in these fantastical worlds, but they remind us that heroism, it can be anything. And real strength often comes from challenging what we think we know and embracing the unexpected.
Powerful stuff.
It is.
We really hope these stories have fired up your imagination, maybe even given you a new perspective on the hero inside us all. If you loved this action-packed adventure, hit that rate button and follow the Action Hero podcast for more thrilling tales. We'll catch you on the next ride into the world of action.
See you there.